we're gonna hack these off. Take them into the shop, make a hole, make a cover, so that the shock will be lower in this pocket by 2 inches or an inch or whatever, and then this bracket will go back on in the same spot, height-wise, but over more. So we get the right angle of the shock, same height, so the car will sit at the same height. I'm gonna probably try to raise it up a ½ inch or something, but, and then the shock will have enough travel. All right.
Okay.
All right, I had a hard time getting that sucker off. This went through nice, and then all the weld, we were cutting through the weld, and it just wouldn't go through. Stuff got hard. So this shock, right, is frozen, and it's bent. So that's another reason why.
Yeah, right.
This
Stiff
sucker-
as a board.
This sucker turned blue. So we gotta get something real soft. Gotta get a nice soft ride in one. All right, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna cut the other side off tomorrow, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. Either do like I said, but I gotta see if I can find that shock is so small. I gotta see if I can find something like that. If not,
We'll make something work.
yeah. Coil
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
You know what it needs? It needs like a front, like a old style front shock. I gotta look for shocks like that, like soft riding ones. You know, we gotta jack this back up again and get the wheels off it.
Make it feel like a Cadillac or a
Yeah,
Rolls
be like
Royce.
a Cadillac. Cadillac. All right, so you saw how much I got off of that? Look at that.
Yeah.
I got plenty of room now. All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tomorrow's another day. We'll jump back on it and get this thing done.
Okay.
Talk to you guys later. All right. Back at it. Cut one side off. I'm gonna hack the other side off, and then we're gonna figure out what we're doing.
All right.
All right. I got the other side. I had to take the wheel off. I couldn't get that one. I'm gonna taking the wheel off for this one too. We're gonna paint them. This one's frozen to death. That one's frozen to death. So they probably got beat up so bad, you know, bottoming out. Let's see if I can find another set now. Like this one's. They're sharp. So that much.
Even poor to say if they were good, they're too stiff.
Well, they're frozen. They're all messed up.
Right.
Well, if it had a little bit longer shock, it would have been better. But we definitely got to extend this. So, like I said, we're gonna probably end up moving these out. I'm gonna cut a pocket out of this thing so the shock, because you can't take the shock out without taking all this shit apart. So if I cut that hole open on the bottom,
Yeah.
right, and then extend it down so that the shock could go up through like that. At least you could get it out. I'm gonna make I'll grind that spot down so you could get to the top nut better. And then we'll see what happens. If not, I'm gonna see if I could get shocks that have a little plate on the bottom, and then make 2 extensions and then just bolt it on from the bottom too. All right. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. Finally made up my mind what I'm doing here with this thing, because I'm not gonna mount the shock inside this bracket, because then you won't be able to get the the shock off and all kinds of crazy crap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld these back on. I'm gonna use them as the original spring, but I'm not putting the shock in the middle of it because you can't get to it. So I'm gonna put that back like that. I'm actually gonna raise that, that's about a 1/4 inch or something. I'm gonna weld it like that, right? Put the spring back in the same spot. And then I got 2 new shocks coming. There's a number on them. I was able to get the number off it. I'm gonna mount it next to it like that. So I'm gonna make a hole up in here. Now here I could get to, because there's room. So I'm gonna make a hole in here, go through and then bolt it to the top, and then make a bracket that comes off of this. A bracket that comes off of this here. All right, and it'll drop down like this. And then the shock will go in here wherever at the height that we want, and we'll have enough room. The shock has just about 5 inches of travel when it's fully extended, but like I said, they're frozen. And it was riding way up here like this. That's how high, that's how much room it had. And then it was just bang, 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 bottoming out. So, all right, so that's what we're gonna do. And that should take care of it, hopefully. So, it's a little bit more involved than making this hole in here, but at least it'll be separate from the spring, so if you ever have to change a shock or something again, you could change it without having to go through all this crap all over again. All right, and we got the rims off. We're gonna scuff them down, sand them down, get them ready for primer and paint. All right, so I'm gonna prep these up. I'm gonna grind all this stuff clean. Grind the side where we're gonna add the bracket to it. And then we'll grind the car on the car parts, and then we'll weld them back up. Okay, so we got that all ground down, ready to go. I'm gonna get the welder ready here. I'm gonna weld those pieces back on. I'm gonna make them about a 1/4 inch or so higher so that the car will sit just a little bit higher, which ain't really gonna matter, but it'll make it better. All right, and that's it. Let me get going on this welding this brackets back on. All right, got them welded back on. Picked up a 1/4 inch in height. Not that it really needed it, but I'd rather have it now when I'm welding them on anyway, so we'll get them done. All right? Okay. Now we gotta figure out where we're putting the shocks. I'm making the top a plate. I'm gonna make holes in here. The shock is gonna go up into that. Clean the rest of that up.
And there's going in there.
All right, so Josh was sanding the wheels down. We gotta sand all that crap off them, sand them down so they get the shine off them. Then we'll put self-etching primer on them. Prime them up, smooth them back off, and then we'll get some paint on them. So we'll do one of those. He's doing that. I just made these brackets. Got the holes made in them. I'm gonna let them cool down for a second, then I'm gonna weld them in. I got this all cleaned off already up there. Got this spot all clean where they're gonna go. They're gonna go right in that corner. And then we got the ride height, and then we'll set the bottom plates up.
Good right. Can't really see him. Once you move your hand out of the way, then I can.
It's gonna look like that.
There you go.
And the shock will come down here like this. Let me just tack this real quick. And then hopefully. Okay, give me the old shock. Let me make sure it fits. And then it'll be just like that. Oops, it'll be just like that. And then we're gonna make a plate here. And then that'll be that. Now that we can get to, so you can get to that bolt now. Before where it was way back in there and it was up against the body. You couldn't even get to it. Well, that'll be like that now. That'll be good.
Okay.
All right. So the top bracket's on. I go to grind the bottom bracket because I'm going to add a bracket here. Look how much Bondo's here. It's as thick as my finger.
That's to make it round.
That's crazy shit. Anyway, so we're going to add a plate here like this that comes out with a hole in it, like on the top, and then the shock will be, it's going to drop down like about that much. So it's going to be like that and that much more on the shock. So the shock needs to be that long. In ride height, the shock needs to be just like that.
Right.
So you have that much play traveling. All right? All right. Get that done. Josh is done with that one wheel. That's
Wheel
all
sand.
sanded down.
Might have to hit
And then
these a
just
little
scuff that a little
harder.
bit better. Yeah.
I gotta blow it off first.
All right. So he's done with that one wheel. We'll move on to the next one.
That's fine.
Blow it all off.
Yeah, well now I can see where I missed. Gotta get the shine in it.
Right here.
Yeah.